So Robin Crawford joined Mensa more than 30 years ago and has since served as a local secretary, editor, and proctor for Chicago Area Mensa. She is the current AMC Communications Officer and has been the Mensa Research Journal executive editor and a contributing member or chair of dozens of committees and task forces. In 2019, she was awarded the Margot Award, American Mensa's highest honor. She will be hosting the LDW session, Mensa Communications, where attendees can ask whatever they want about Mensa Communications, and she'll provide the answers and explanations. So this isn't going to be any formal presentation. You can either, it's probably best if you ask your question in the chat, and then I can repeat it and Robin can answer. Because if you speak out, I can hear you guys, but with the ambient noise, sometimes it's hard to hear. So does anybody have any questions for Robin? Because she feels like she's at a job interview here.
I do. Why don't you start by telling what the communications officer's charges are? What you do.
What I do. So I'm I hate to use the word oversee, because that's not quite right. I'm the point person for all of the communications that come out of the national level, out of the office. So that would be the bulletin and Mensa Leader and Mensa Wired and all of that kind of stuff. I oversee Mensa Connect, which is the forums, dealing with any policy involving those. I review the bulletin each month. In addition, I'm sort of the point person for local group editors, webmasters, social media people, etc. So I kind of do both, and they sew together and overlap. This term, I'm gonna help my editors. That's kind of been my focus this time around.
So help your editors in what way? Like that for better communication to the local groups, or?
Kind of a little bit of everything. It depends on what they need. And we're working on doing a survey, and I'm still kind of on a listening tour to find out what editors need, what they want, what they're lacking. I've just kind of noticed that no one have given local group newsletters and communications a whole lot of love and attention for a while.
I certainly agree with you there. I think one of the first things to do would make them aware of the Joule system, because the editor actually controls 75 points, which can give the smallest groups a Ruby right off the bat. The editor by himself or herself is able to make the group, Ruby and potentially diamond. So that they need to be made aware of the Joules.
Right.
Yeah, but I heard that some groups don't care about Joules, and so maybe it could be reiterated how the Joule criteria is like a starting point for your group and how to improve your group.
Right.
And maybe more people would get interested.
Yeah,
in
the
it that way.
Joules, I mean, yes, you can compete and it's cool and all that sort of stuff, but you can also look at the criteria as a tiered roadmap for how can you make your local group awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
I call it a
even if you're not
blueprint.
competitive, you want your local group to be awesome.
I call it a blueprint because it tells you how to grow your group and how to make the group strong.
Absolutely, absolutely.
The things that tells you the things you ought to be doing to make your group better.
So we have a question here. I belong to other clubs besides Mensa, and I'm a LOPSEC proctor and a member. I get lots of emails and get so many that I get overwhelmed. Can we limit how many emails we get from Mensa?
From Mensa, as in from Mensa National, or from your local saying, where's the picnic?
I think, who is this? Denise, are you referring to from national office, I assume?
From national, yes.
Okay. So you're
It's
gonna
saying-
get emails
Oh, wait.
or messages from kind of a number of different channels. Mensa Leader and Mensa Wired are the electronic newsletters that come out every couple weeks or whatever. They're short and sweet, and you have to click on the things that you want to read, or you can just ignore them because They'll have things about who were the award winners this year, and don't forget to turn in your scholarship applications, and oh, we're doing oral history projects, so you might want to look at that, or so there's things that you can read or click on and read more or not. You might be getting a lot of emails via Mensa Connect, which yes, it's an online forum thing, but many of the communities, the little groupings, are auto-populated based on the database. And so if you're an officer, so like if you're an editor, you are automatically put into the publication officers community. You didn't sign up for that. Or if you're the LOCSEC, you're automatically into the LOCSEC community. And as people have discussions, those will generate emails to you so you can participate through the web interface or through email. And so that may be what you're getting. And so if a lot of it is Mensa Connect emails, you can go into your profile there, into Mensa Connect, and change your preferences to a daily digest, or don't send me anything ever, or real time, etc. I would not recommend setting it to don't ever send me anything, because you'll miss important stuff, but you can certainly do a daily digest instead.
And just a comment about the daily digest that I like, because there's certain discussion groups I do that with. And so I get it, just in the morning. I think it sends out after midnight. And you can see all the topics at the top. And if there's something I'm interested in, I can scroll down and find that. And if nothing's of interest, then I just delete it.
Yeah.
And, so it takes like, 3 seconds to look and nope, not of interest. And so that helps me a lot, because so I don't get, email after email after email.
Right. Did that answer the question?
Yes, thank you. Yeah, it was almost like being in a chat room, and some of these people, they go on and on and on and on.
yeah,
That's
no,
Mensa Connect stuff.
Yeah, change it to daily digest. You'll be thankful.
And speaking of Mensa Connect, one of the guys on my communications committee has created the first of a series of little training videos on how to use Mensa Connect that will show you, here's where you log in, here's how you change from real-time email to daily digest, here's how you upload to the library, here's how you download to the library. So, and we'll be disseminating those videos as we get them made. But it was really, I don't know, did you see it, Nancy? It was a really cute little easy to understand video.
Is there a way, I hate to ask this, but on Mensa Connect, is there a way to block somebody so their posts never
Nope.
even make it into my thread? Okay.
No,
Because that there's certain people that are very lonely. And I look at that and I'm like, oh my God, how do they have this much time to be doing this?
Mensa Connect, the higher logic platform, has some awesomeness and some less than awesomeness. And I'm not privy to the whole contract and how much money they spent on it, but my understanding is that it's not going away anytime soon.
Right. Okay. I mean, they're not the only ones that use that platform. So I have other organizations.
Right,
I'm in. It's the
right.
same thing.
So no, I don't think you
But-
can block someone.
Okay, that's a shame because
Just, do it like you do in real life, which is someone comes into the room that you don't want to talk to, you don't talk to them.
That's why I like the daily digest, because then I can see, you can see what the heading is and who was posting is oh, I don't even need to bother with that.
Right.
But maybe they should set up another Mensa Connect group for those that just want to bicker and talk about nothing.
I think
I mean-
some of the sub ones have,
Yeah.
I saw one, and I don't remember the guy's name, and I shouldn't say it if I did. So I'm just gonna use the, Bob. I don't think.
No,
it's
we
Bob.
all know who you're talking about.
No, I don't, I don't remember. Some local group had some member who he just liked to type and ramble and just flooding everybody. So they said, you know what? We're giving you your own community and you can just
Oh, that's a good idea.
Yammer away to your heart's content. And he does, and he's happy, and you know.
Okay, so Ruth Daniels posted something, and you
Hey,
might need
Ruth.
to clarify this. She says, but then people get points for the number of posts they make. Not in Mensa Connect, I don't believe. Now, we get points based on our posting, say, in Facebook or Twitter or Instagram and social media. But I don't think for Jewel Awards or anything that
I
they
am
there's no
not
points.
sure. I think that the platform has some sort of ranking thing.
It
So
did,
it-
and I
it-
haven't seen the numbers for at least a year now, thank God, because the same person,
Constantly.
you know.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And on the
the
back
one
end-
that's even dead, I think her aim is to overcome the score that the dead person.
And on the
But I
back
hate-
end,
I
I can
hate-
certainly see
I
who's
hate the fact
posting.
that they were rewarding them for number of posts rather than quality somehow.
There's no reward. If it's still there, it has, it means nothing. No
So,
one's-
so Ruth, did that answer?
Yes. Can you hear me?
Yeah,
Yes,
yeah,
I mean, there was a number down at the bottom, but I have not noticed it
Yeah, no
lately.
one's paying attention or cares.
Okay.
Other than the people who get off on
Well,
numbers. I
You know,
guess.
and actually, I was more, I think, we used it more when they had the ACE Awards,
Yeah,
you know, for the excellence in communication or whatever.
yeah.
Because I remember having to fill out the form on, you know, so how many,
How many numbers in your Facebook?
Well, yeah,
numbers
how
on
many
your-
views have you had on your website and things like that? And since they did away, so is there any way they're gonna be coming back with the ACE Awards? Because that's communication excellence.
So I don't know. So the ACE Award, so when I was communications officer last time around, about a decade, we were still doing the PRP awards. And every year that got changed to, you know, down to the granular level of, you know, best blue pencil editing and little thing. And then, no, we're just gonna do big, little, small newsletters. No, so every year it got changed, and then they shifted it to the ACE Awards about the time, and this makes perfect sense, that newsletters, paper newsletters are not the only communication venue, and there's all these other ways to do it, and you ought to be using it, and we ought to be recognizing that, encouraging it, et cetera. So that's why that changed. Why did it go away like 2 or 3 years ago? I do not know. I was under a rock. Will it come back? I don't know. This is part of, I'm still calling it a listening tour, but there'll be a survey coming out too. Trying to get a feel for what's needed, what needs to be encouraged. Sometimes competition encourages everybody to be better. And sometimes competition, especially with PRP and ACE Awards, what often happen is so many groups that the big groups can win because they've got enough people, and we're never going to win, and we're not going to try. And
You know what?
and that doesn't, so I don't know if I want to bring something like that back or not. It depends on it. Is it going to help Mensa, or is it going to stroke the ego of these 5 groups?
Well, I think the ACE Awards, it wasn't, I don't think you were competing with the other groups. But if we scored like 90 out of 100, then we got a gold. But if you score 80, then you got a silver.
Mhm.
So there could be 100 golds and 5 silvers in the country or something like
But
that.
you did get jewel points for your ACE
Right.
Okay.
results.
Okay.
So it was kind of
did tie
independent.
in a little bit.
But I liked it because it was the communication. And so do you have a newsletter? Do you have a website? How are you communicating with your members? And I think it like a roadmap, like the Jules, it also helped with our communications with our members. So that's why I liked it. And
So I
So
don't
you might
know
want
if
to
I'm
take
going to bring them back. I'm not telling you no, but I'm not telling you yes.
yeah. Oh,
How's that?
it was just, like I said, I liked it when we, because we would strive to, because we always strive to do better. And when somebody says about, we don't want to compete with bigger groups, let me tell you a story. That our group, you know, we only have right now, we're up at like 412 members. But we've, dropped down in the upper 300s. But the one year, was it the year that we got a diamond?
Mhm.
And we were in class 2, so we had 412 members, and we're competing with groups that have
Up to
1,100.
1100.
And us little group,
Right.
actually won that diamond compared to 3 times as many people. So
Well,
Has nothing to do with the size.
One thing that I know for sure, from having done an awful lot of task force back last time around, looking at local group services, local group funding, I mean, really down in the data, as well as I used to read all of the newsletters every month. Now I only read the ones that are online and I don't get through all of them every month, but I am reading 50 to 70 newsletters a month.
Wow.
So slowly I'm starting to get a sense again. So you combine all those pieces of information, and I can tell you that newsletter quality does not correlate to group size.
Right.
It does not. So the sense of I'm a small group, but we can't compete against the big groups is utterly and completely false. There's no correlation between group size and newsletter and communication quality.
I'd like to tell you about one of the columns that has been added to our newsletter. It's called "You Should Have Been There." And it's a photograph of different events, the gourmet SIG and the main monthly meeting and so forth. Even if there's only 3 people there, you just say everyone had a good
Yep.
time, kind of thing.
Yeah.
And I think it encourages people to come to other events.
Absolutely.
The other thing it does is it gives you an opportunity when you have a diverse member to make sure that they appear on that page so that you can encourage diversity in the group.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. That's one of the well-known best things to put in your newsletter to pump up a group.
Yeah.
Is not just list that you had Thursday dinner at Cracker Barrel, but last Thursday at Cracker Barrel, this is what we did. We talked about this. Here's some pictures of some smiley happy people. Man, did you miss a good time? You totally want to go to the next one.
Yes, exactly.
That's what works.
Oh, yeah, we do that. We went to a ball game and there was 2 of us, but like, I didn't take pictures of us. I took pictures of the ball game. And it's like, oh, it was raining and we
Yep.
had still had a good time.
Yep.
You know.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
The other thing is that even a very small group can copy columns like Dan Finley's trivia from one of the Florida groups.
Mhm.
And with permission, you can borrow interesting things from other groups' newsletters when you're so small that or have no contributors locally. You can
Well,
borrow.
interesting. So I'm going to jump on that because that's one of my projects that I'm working on right now. Via Mensa Connect, there's a library section and you can upload stuff. You can upload your puzzles, your articles, your cartoons, your graphics, your everything like that. And you can go download. And so I'm working on trying to get all the editors to let's create
So
this
is only
library.
an editor e-list.
Well, no, it's not an e-list email. This is Mensa Connect. It's actually publications officers community. So it's got your, because every group, some have an editor, some have a communications officer.
I would do it differently because I actually had a member here said, who's your editor? I wrote an article I'd like to distribute. And we have quite a few members that automatically send us articles because we've connected in the past. And that's what we need is a repository
Yes.
that members, and so they don't have to be editors, publications. Members can post their stuff there and then editors from all over the country can use them.
Poetry or art.
Yeah. Well, somebody suggested that I contact the people in the writers' SIG to
Oh,
get
that's,
some of their contribution.
yeah, but
And as far as a workaround, because I understand what you're saying, tell them to send them to someone who's in that, to your editor who will then upload them for everybody to use. Or me, I can do the clicking. That's not a big deal. But so many newsletters are hurting for content or want content. And this is where Mensans should cooperate and share and,
so Ruth Daniel made a couple comments. The first one was when you're talking about diversity and, posting somebody that she said a diverse member in our group would be someone under 70. And then when, with the articles and the editors and the newsletters, she says you can also reprint from SIG newsletters. So like, she's isolated M.
Mhm.
And so, maybe that's another thing you could look into is different groups. Are you willing to let other groups
Yeah.
reprint your stuff?
Yeah.
Because I think some groups are like real possessive.
Mhm.
It's their stuff and we don't want anybody else. It's our original. And then others, we share and we used to have a guy, what happened to him? Was it Finley down in
Yeah,
Pensacola?
Dan Finley
Billy?
does the trivia column.
Yeah, but we haven't had that for years. And he used to send us a trivia column like every month.
I think it's the new editor.
No.
decides.
We have not received it from him and we quit running it because we would tell him, okay, we need it by say the 15th and we wouldn't get it and wouldn't get it.
So
And
you put it the next month.
but they weren't getting it after repeated requests. And so that's why we
Like
quit
there's
doing
a
it.
Betsy Haas, I think in Michigan, who does that Smart Alec comic that I see a lot
Oh,
of
that is
newsletters
cute.
use.
Yeah.
Oh, I haven't seen that.
So,
Yeah, so Ruth Daniel said whimsical M.
Some of my groups, you pick up that smart
Mhm.
aleck
Mhm.
column.
And even like Hell's M has a newsletter that they might have some articles. in
I
it.
used to edit them
Did
way when it was typed
Yeah.
on paper. And then, yeah.
So. But,
Hello.
Howdy.
oh, I thought it was somebody looking for me again.
What other questions do you have about communication?
So Denise, and Denise, I have to ask you, like, were you up at like 3 a.m. or something to attend these? And I really appreciate you attending.
Yes. But we totally understand. I mean, your 4-hour time difference. We're
Yeah,
kind of used to it here in Alaska.
okay,
But this was extreme for a Sunday, 5 o'clock in the morning on a Sunday. But I
yeah,
really appreciate you doing this. I've been local sec for a long time and Norma's been involved for a long, long time. And we've just never been to an RG or an AG because we're up here.
and I really wish I could have zoomed more of the RG, but first of all, anybody here can attest that, like, did anybody see me for more than 30 seconds at a time? Because I couldn't walk down the hall with somebody grabbing me. There was a lot of logistics I had to deal with. So I
Oh,
wouldn't
absolutely.
been able to Zoom. And because we had stuff in 7 rooms, I think, at least.
Wow.
Yeah, well,
That-
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, say, yeah, with AMC, 7 rooms, 8 with the adult hospitality. So yeah, it would have been different. It would have been difficult to show you the actual scope of an RG and what all goes on.
That's huge. An RG is 8 rooms.
Well,
amazing.
we're special. Not everybody does this. So, I could tell real quick, and
And
then if we have any more,
me, that you're, my RG.
yeah. Well, which,
We usually
Weem.
do about 5. or
oh,
6
yeah,
rooms.
well, Weem is different, and I haven't done it.
We do 5 or 6 rooms. We've got hospitality. We've got it because we don't rent the ballrooms. Because we do the room, we get the room blocks. We have to have the alcohol in a separate room. So
Yeah.
that's 2 hospitalities. We have at least 1 speaker track, a game room, a kid track. So that's 5 right there with
Yeah.
1 speaker. You put a second speaker, you've got 6 rooms.
Yeah,
Yeah, Huntsville did the same thing.
Yeah.
We had an RG.
Yeah.
yeah.
So that's
So-
cool.
So, we have the hospitality room, since you guys aren't familiar with an RG, is basically your social room where you have drinks, snacks, like 24 hours. Candy, has to be chocolate, M&Ms. They complain I didn't have enough peanut last time. I got extra and they didn't eat them. So, but,
Never fails.
and
Huh.
then we did 2 tracks of speakers this weekend, and then we have a games room, youth track for the kids. And then the AMC was here, and then we did testing. So we run a special that, like, if you come and get tested at the RG, you can stay the rest of the day for free. And we didn't have as good a turnout this year. Last time we had 10 people. This time we had 3, 1 got sick, 1 showed, and 1 was a no-show. So we ended up with 1. And then unless we buy the alcohol from the hotel, we can't serve it in the meeting area. So we have a suite that they comp us. And that's where we have all the adult hospitality, which they want me to change to the beer wine room or over 21 room or something. And that was a big, big suite, couch, chairs, refrigerator, everything. So a lot of people were up there all weekend, which is fine. So, But you don't have to go that big. A lot of them might have, an afternoon, and you and I can talk about this at another time. But you can have even on a Saturday afternoon, like 4 hours of let's play games, or get together and schedule 2 or 3 speakers from say between noon and 5 and get people. But I know that you guys are really spread out. So Zoom might be, you could do a Zoom RG too. So that,
Yeah, I think we'd have to. We
yeah.
have a lot of people, a lot of engineers and intelligent people who work on the North Slope for the oil companies.
Mhm.
And I've had complaints that they get very bored. They have time on their hands when they're not at work. And there's no alcohol on the North Slope. So there's a lot of time that they could be doing Mensa stuff, participating.
Yeah.
If they knew about it.
Especially if they're experts in their fields, maybe they want
They
to
are.
be leaders.
Yeah.
And that's one way of them getting in touch with other people. Who can ask them
Yeah.
questions and get them thinking along other lines while they're doing their professional stuff.
Right.
Oh, Ruth says there was an ungathering a couple times in San Diego, no hotel, just home hosts and events around town. That would be fun. But Robin, I guess a question for you that's come up from this. So we're fortunate. I mean, we have a pretty big group or big area because we go from Virginia all the way into northern South Carolina, but nothing like say Alaska or Wyoming, where the members are spread all about. So what kind of suggestions do you have for them to engage their members? Because when you only have like 2 here and 5 there, and
So you're gonna have to it's gonna have to be virtual engagement, and there's a lot of different methods for that. If you have a vibrant Facebook group where people are posting and interacting, that's one thing. Zoom is something you fire up when you're kind of now we're going to get together and talk or have tea or whatever, but it's not a always on chit chatty sort of thing. Mensa Connect, certainly there's absolutely a community for your local group already in place, and you will be hearing from me with this training video and how to start getting your members engaged in how to use it, etc. Discord is another one, especially if you've got younger techie members. Discord is you've got video, you've got audio, you've got typing, so there can be a lot of real-time interaction, but you can also kind of just leave it always fired up, and so if it pings, you can answer someone. It started out people who did video games would use Discord. While they're playing a game, they're also talking and chatting about the games. That's where that came from. Chicago last year used Discord for Wing. We had a virtual gathering and really 4 days and hundreds of people from all over and interacting. And they made rooms. They had several hospitality rooms and they had game rooms and puzzle rooms, all via Discord. So when you're that spread out, you need to really, really make the most of your virtual methods of gathering and interacting.
and so I guess if you deal with communications with us in national, but you also help groups communication within their groups.
Yes.
So if they have questions, they can email you and
Yep.
you can give them all sorts of suggestions
Yep.
or point them in the right direction. and-
Yeah, I mean, obviously I don't know everything there is to know about everything.
Sure you do.
Well, I am in Mensa. On the off chance that there is something in the world I do not know yet, I do know how to find the person who does know it. So,
Well, that's good.
and like I say, things will be coming out from communications committee that will help.
So Denise, one thing that I think has helped our group, and especially, I would have pushed for it before, but with the pandemic, I really pushed for it, that your group can get a Zoom account for like, I don't know, $140 for the year, which to me is relatively cheap. And that way you're unlimited. You aren't cut off at 40 minutes for like the free accounts. And during the pandemic, we were doing speaker meetings. And it allowed for our people in remote areas to attend. And it also allowed me to get speakers outside of Charlotte, because when we have in person, I have to get people that are local that can drive to the restaurant. So I was getting, and this might be another idea, Robin, is maybe putting together, say, a list of potential speakers that we can suggest for other groups, because that's what I was doing. I hate to say it, stealing speakers from other group, or the idea,
It's like a speakers bureau.
yeah, like a
Okay.
speakers bureau. And so, oh, San Francisco got this guy. It's like, oh, cool. And then I contact them and they do it for us too. So via Zoom, I had people like guys giving talks from Florida and New Jersey and even from the West Coast. And somebody told me this weekend that one of the guys, it was the first Zoom virtual meeting that they attended of ours. It was on forensic polygraphy. And actually, he also spoke at the WG this year. And they said that was the best talk they've ever heard. So I think that, I almost envy you, Denise, that you don't have to do in person. Here I have members screaming at me, do in person stuff. But I mean, that gives you some options and you can do it at different times, different days. And even if you only do something once a month, I think that might help. So,
Yeah, a virtual.
Thank you for the
speakers bureau
suggestions.
Would be awesome.
yeah. And also, Denise, don't ever hesitate to reach out to any of us or even post on the LoCSec Mensa Connect. Because I've only been in Mensa, 6 years now? I'm a newbie. This is my second RG. I don't know how I got in. I chaired. Thank you. I need suggestions from Weem. I need to go to Weem, but anyway. But yeah, the only way I learned was talking with other LoCSecs and other people that have been in it for a while and relatively active. And everybody has a different take, but then you use what you learned to what best fits your group. So, but anyway.
Denise, you're in Alaska, right?
Yes,
I know your RVC Tracy is a very attentive RVC.
yes,
and
yes, she is.
so, reach out to them.
Yeah.
Often.
Yeah, she comes to our board meetings. She comes to our Saturday morning breakfasts sometimes.
Yeah.
And of course, she invites me to the Region 8 Zoom meetings.
Mhm.
Yeah, she was actually here this weekend.
Yeah. I just feel like a younger person would have more energy and more knowledge. And I wish a young person in Alaska would step up to the plate, and I wouldn't, tell them how to do anything. I would just let them fly.
You know how I had that problem because we, advertise, oh, we need this. And I tried to put blurbs, this will only take you 15 minutes a month or, to try, it didn't work. And so I actually, people think I'm an extrovert, but believe me, when I'm done here, you guys won't ever see me again for like another 6 months. But I started reaching out to members and started talking to them one-on-one. And after I got a sense of their interests or their background, like our social media coordinator, I don't think I've ever met the guy, but I don't know how. I must have seen him post on Instagram, and the guy's really into Transformers. But anyway, he posts like 5 times a day about Transformers. But he was doing all this posting, and so I reached out to him, and I was like, Brian, you seem to know a lot about Instagram and stuff. Do you think you'd be our social media coordinator? And he says, oh, I do that for a living anyway. Sure, I'll do it. And he's great. So I think it's, and there's other ones that, that I've met that I just started talking. Oh, the one guy, he was a financial lawyer or I forget. And we needed a treasurer. Hey, would you be interested in doing our treasury? Being our treasurer since you have this financial background. He's like, sure. So
one-on-one asking always works better.
Yeah. Sometimes I've actually got on the phone and called people and you can get from Becky, I think it's in our thing, the birth dates, but if not, Becky can send you a list of your members between the age of 19 and 24 or whatever you want. And maybe we have one kid that he's 15 that's on our XCOM. He's our deputy LoCSec. And he was actually here most of the weekend and watching over the kids and doing other stuff. So, but yeah, it's just a matter of reaching out, get lists of your younger members and just cold call them, because once they get involved, they usually like it, especially if you can find something of interest to them. Well, there's two types. Either they have their own background, like Brian's, like on social media all day, perfect fit for him. But then I've had others like that wanted to be editor because they've never done it before and they wanted to learn something new. So you have both sides, like either that's their background's easy for them, they'll do it, or hey, I want to try something else. What else do you have? So. But I know that Dave's session ran over, which cut into Robin's, but I know that Robin has a long drive there.
Long drive, yeah, so there's
So,
anything
well,
else about communication?
yeah, that's what I'm saying. We probably should wrap it up so you can get on the road.
Thank you very much for doing this, though. I really appreciate it.
Oh, no problem. And did you see about the LoCSec monthly meeting? That
No.
they haven't posted it.
I think Lori's doing that.
Yeah, Lori North, actually, I think it's on the 18th. Oops. Oh, I just got this Windows 11 thingy and I'm not used to it. It might be on the 22nd of this month. So they do like a Zoom call once a month. And it's at 8:30 p.m. Eastern time, so it's more reasonable your time. But it's LoCSec's all over the country to share ideas and things like that, and it's been very successful. So it'll be on Mensa Connect, and from the LoCSec Connect. So, but
Okay,
she hasn't posted a link or anything yet, but I think there's a date time. Once it's posted, if I remember, I'll send you directly the link so it doesn't get lost in all your email. So. Well, thank you guys for attending, and Robin, thank you for being our last talk of the RG. So
Hey,
now you can go home and go to sleep.
and
Yay!
as long as you forgive me for not responding until Tuesday,
Yeah.
I'm very responsive via any means of communication, so.
And also, just so you guys know that I have recorded who has been online on Zoom, and that goes into the national office, and your group then gets points for all the attendees from your group. So I did make
Thank
a
you
note.
very much. It's been a great pleasure and awakening
Was-
for
Nice to have people here, thank you. I have to drive to Illinois now.
Yeah, I know. So
have a safe trip home.
I still have to load all this up in
Yeah.
there. So, but anyway,
Are we done?
yep. So
Bye.
bye.
Bye.